Hey everyone, it's Tyler from CopilotKit. I'm really excited to talk about our travel application. You may have already seen this in our announcement of CoAgents 0.2, but I'm going to be giving you a tutorial today. So we're going to be talking all about it. We're going to be talking a lot about Agentic UX, covering things like human in the loop, intermediate state streaming, everything in between. And I'm really excited to take you along with me. This application is really, really cool, and I feel like it's a really great example and showcase of what you can get with agentic experiences. For example, I can ask the agent to plan a trip to Ireland. It's going to search the internet for a couple of things. It's going to look for the Blurry Zone, the Cliffs of Moher experience, and things like that. And I can kind of interact with it in a lot of different ways. It's going to suggest a couple of things to me, and then I can actually add this and plan a trip, all just like that, all guided by AI. And it took me just like about 20 minutes to implement. So let's go ahead and add that and take a look at the trip. Actually, I already did it for us, and we can see a couple of different things here. You can see the Killarney National Park, the Dublin Zoo, the Old Mill Restaurant, and the Irish Whiskey Museum. I'm really excited to show you how to build this, so let's get started. Hi everyone, let's go ahead and clone our repository. With that clone, we're going to go ahead and open up our UI directory, but first we need to go into CopilotKit, and then we need to go into the examples directory. From there, we're going to go into CoAgents-travel, and now we're going to go ahead and navigate into the UI directory. Let's go ahead and do that. Now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and start up the application. So first up, we need to install everything. With everything installed, we're going to go ahead and spin it up with pm run dev. Now we're going to go ahead and open up the browser and take a look at the application. It's really simple right now, but we're going to be adding a lot of agentic UX over top of everything to give it some spice. So first off, we can just go over to localhost 3000. Once we're here, we see it's really simple. We can hover over some list items and show up on a map. We can hover over the map and see some of the list items. And this is a React library called Leaflet.js, if you're curious. It's open source and feel free to use it. All right, so next up, we need to talk about LangGraph and LangGraph Studio. So LangGraph is a way to build agentic workflows. And LangGraph Studio is a way to visualize those workflows as well as run them locally. So first up, we're going to go ahead and open up our code base, and we're going to add in the necessary secrets and environment variables so that the agent can run properly. So go ahead and open up the agent directory, which is /agent. In here, we're going to go ahead and create an env file, which is touch. Then we're going to go ahead and open up a code editor at that repository. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now that we're in here, we have a kind of good visualization of our application. We're going to open the agent directory, and in here, we're going to add in two keys, our Open API key and our Google Maps API key. If you need help getting those, we have some guides on our docs. So yeah, next up, we're going to go ahead and open up our actual application, our agents inside of LangGraph. So click on this. And then we're going to be looking for we're going to be looking for the agents folder inside of this particular example that we're working with. So go ahead and navigate to that. And you can just select that and open it. And then LangGraph will open everything for you. All right, and so we're in. If you don't know LangGraph too much, go ahead and look at their docs, but we'll give a quick overview. We have all of our nodes here. Our nodes are where the agent executes and makes decisions and runs conditional logic that we provide. This is our state, so this is what will happen and persist across node runs and executions. And then we also have our trips node here, which can be interrupted, which we'll talk about later. So let's go ahead and type a simple message just to see how this all works. So we can add a message into there, click submit, and then see that we get a response. Awesome. So now what if we want to do something more complicated, like plan a trip? So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and plan a trip to Ireland for this example. And we want to get some good food. So we click on start. And then what we see is we get a lot of different results. We're using the Google Maps API here. So we let the agent call some tool calls to the Google Maps API, and now it's building out in its state what it wants the trip to look like. And so you can see here, we have a trip. Our trip has some places. So like at this place, we have a restaurant, for example. All of this looks to be in order. So now let's talk a little bit about human in the loop. Human in the loop is where the human is actually interacting with the agent and giving it steering. So in this case, we can interrupt after at a little breakpoint. And so when we come and ask it to plan a trip again, it will wait for our approval before actually committing to state the perform trips node executes. So we'll see this in action in here a little bit. Go ahead and send that message. We're going to go to New Zealand now. So let's see what this looks like. All right, so the trip is being planned. All of that's looking great. Give it a little second to finish everything up. So now we can scroll down to the bottom here, and we see that there's a little continue button. We're going to leverage this a lot later on, but this is a pretty simple example. So we'll just hit continue, and then it'll finish everything up. Yeah, so pretty awesome. And now we just need to remember to turn that off. And we're going to leave our LangGraph Studio running because we want this little URL on the bottom left, but let's go ahead and move on. So now we're going to go ahead and introduce a small CopilotRender application. Let's go ahead and install those packages for that. This is from CopilotKit. So this is where we're starting to integrate. Now we're going to be using something called Copilot Cloud here, which hosts a runtime, which serves as an interface between our agent and various LLMs and our UI. So we can sign up here at copilotkit.cloud.ai or cloud.copilotkit.ai. Go ahead and log in with GitHub. That's what I'm going to do. Go ahead and log with my credentials. Give it a second to load. And we're in. So we'll see a couple of things here. I have a OpenAPI key. It's currently incorrect, so I'm going to go ahead and replace it. Give me 1 second. Cool. So there we go. I did that off screen so that you didn't see my key. So let's go ahead and copy our public key, and then we can get back to work here. So we're going to add an env file into our UI, and we're going to add our public key into that. So let's go ahead and open up the env. And here, we're just going to call it this, next public CPK public API key. And so now we're going to go ahead into our application, and we're going to start integrating stuff. So we need a provider to wrap our application in. So let's go ahead and import that. This is the CopilotKit provider. It provides all of the context to your application. Typically, it's done in a page or a layout. So we're just going to do it in our page here. Next up, we're just going to use our public API key, which we defined in our env. Let's just go ahead and wrap that and everything. Awesome. Awesome. So now we need something to actually talk with. So we're going to use one of the pre-built components, the Copilot Sidebar. So we can import that and start using it. And we're just going to add it right in here. Perfect. Go ahead and close that. And we'll also wrap everything in this, just in case you want to provide your app context of that sidebar. So we'll go ahead and save that. And let's go ahead and open our application again. Take a look at it. So I closed it while I was gone. And so let's go ahead and do that. Open this back up, navigate to localhost 3000. And here we are. So now if we talk to it, say like, hi there. It's going to talk back. And so we have a really simple agent. If we ask it to give us some information about our trips, it hallucinates that it can, but it actually isn't able to. So we push it a little bit further. It says, okay, cool, let me do this. And then it doesn't do anything. And so this is kind of like a really simple LLM example of us interacting with it. It doesn't have any agents. We're going to be adding agents to kind of rein in this behavior. Our application has state because it is a React application after all. And so that state is held in the use trips hook. So let's go ahead and open that up. And we can see our state defined here at the top on line 20. We're going to be replacing this with a lot of the CopilotKit logic. So that'll be something that we'll be doing later. For now, we need to actually create a tunnel for Copilot Cloud to talk to our local running LangGraph. So let's go ahead and copy that from our LangGraph Studio. And we're going to go back over to Copilot Cloud. But first, let's go ahead and open a tunnel via our CLI. We need to do this because we want to have a tunnel between our locally running agent and cloud. However, if you're using LangGraph platform and deploying this in Langsmith, then you don't actually need to do this, and you can just use the URL, and we'll see what that looks like here in a second. So first off, let's go ahead and copy this URL. Awesome. So with this URL, we're going to be going back to Copilot Cloud, and now we're going to be adding it. So click on New Remote Endpoint, LangGraph Platform, and we're going to add in our URL and an API key. You can get your Langsmith API key from Langsmith. They have some documentation about that on their website as well. Awesome. So now we have that set up. We're going to do one extra optional step here, just to show you how it behaves. In the provider, we're going to be locking our agent to the specific agent that we want to run. In this case, it's called travel. This is called travel because it's defined in our agent's LangGraph.json. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. This is what it looks like. And you can see right here, we have a graph called travel, and it points to our graph inside of the file. All right, so let's get back to it. We're going to go back to our use trips hook, and we're going to use a hook called useCoAgents. So let's go ahead and import that. What this is going to let us do is create shared state between our React UI and our agent. So we're going to put in some code here and talk about it. So first off, we define the agent that we want to use, which is travel. This is a bit superfluous, but I just want to show you. Then we can set our initial state. In this case, our initial state is some default trips, which is the same as before. Once we go ahead and save this, we can load back up our UI. One little note for local development of this app is we're going to have to reload it. So let's go ahead and reload it and start saying, tell me about my NYC trip. See what it says. Give it a little bit, and it has context of what our actual trip looks like. Pretty cool, but what if we delete some stuff and ask it again? And it has context of that as well. So it's a shared state experience kind of between both the agents and our UI. We can also ask it to add some hotels to our trip. And so in this case, it's looking over Google Maps API, getting a bunch of hotels, and then adding it to our trip, which we can see here. Wow, that is actually a lot of hotels that it added. Pretty cool. And the user kind of steered all of this. We're going to be adding a lot more agentic UX into this. So a piece of that is we're going to be making it so that intermediate state is streamed, specifically with searches. So let's go back to our agent now, close out some of the things we're now working on. So now we're going to be editing our agent and adding some CopilotKit SDK stuff to that. The agent is written in Python, but we also LangGraph also has support for JavaScript. We're also just going to add in the CopilotKit package there with poetry. And then we're going to open up the search.py. In search.py, we have some pretty cool stuff here. This is basically just using the Google Maps API to run a bunch of queries, get the data, and then return it back to the agent. We're going to use our CopilotKit customize config. This allows us to hook into the CopilotKit run loop and add in a bunch of cool agentic UX. We're going to be searching for places, and so we're going to be emitting state for that. Now we're going to call this function called, let's see, get it right here. CopilotKit emit state. What this is going to do is emit the state. Typically with LangGraph, state is only emitted in between transitions. But with this, we can get intermediate state between arbitrary pieces of the code. So as we're going through all the searches, we get to emit some state. So let's go ahead and add that in a couple places when the call is done, in the middle of the call, and at the beginning. Awesome. So that's all we needed to do there. So let's go back to our UI now. And in our UI, we're just going to render this. And we're going to use a hook called useCoAgentStateRender, which will render that. So let's bring that in. useCoAgentStateRender. Perfect. Awesome. And so, by the way, there's a bunch of types in here that are predefined for us and components that are predefined for us, just for the sake of explanation. If you wanted to take a look at them, you can. We're just going to go ahead and import the search progress component, which renders search progress. Let's take a look at that type, though, just so it's not a complete mystery. So we'll just go into this component. We see that it renders a search progress item. Search progress item takes in some progress. It takes in a progress type specifically, which is just a query and its state, whether it's done or not. And then in the agent itself, we have the same type, which is just query, results, and done. In this case, we're not using results on the front end, so we ignore that. And we can go ahead and save that and take a look at it in the UI. Now let's give this a quick reload. Awesome. We're going to search for food from Italy, Japan, and France in New York City. And if you see right there, we get some progressive rendering from our search result. All right. So let's talk about human in the loop a little bit more. So basically, this is where the human and the agent are talking together to build out exactly what the user wants. So in this case, we have a diagram that kind of exemplifies this. We have user approval. The approval goes to the agent, and then the agent is aware of the approval. And that is all done through a button press. So let's go ahead and implement this. First, we need to go to our agent code again. In this case, we're going to go to agent.py and add a breakpoint. This breakpoint that we're adding is just going to be an interrupt after for the trips node. But what this is going to do is give the agent pause when it finishes executing the trips node. So next up, we need to actually implement some of the code to handle the approval from the user. So we're going to go to the trips node. In here, we see we have an AI message. This is no longer correct because we will also have a tool call that will be the approval. So let's go ahead and add this in. This is going to grab the message and the tool call. So in this case, we have our message, which is the second to last message, and our tool message, which is the last message. So now we need to conditionally handle the content. So if the tool message was cancel, then we're going to emit a message that says we canceled this operation. So we'll go ahead and save this. And we need to import the CopilotKit emit message. There's also a little edge case that we need to handle where, let's do this, get this in there. Basically, the edge case is where the AI message is not a message or an AI message and does not have tool calls, which should never happen, but just dot our I's. So one other thing we need to do now is we need to add in a mission of tool calls, which we can do in our chat node. We're going to use that customize config again. So let's go ahead and bring that in, bring that import in as well. And in this case, you can see we're adding in a couple of imports. We'll talk about that later. But you can see them there, add trips, update trips, and delete trips. So now we're actually going to add all of those into our UI as actions. So let's go ahead back over to here. We're going to use a hook called useCoPilotAction, which will hook into those emitted tool calls that we added inside of our chat node. All right, so we're going to go ahead and import this. Oops, do it like this. Perfect. Awesome. And so let's come into here. I have some copy and pasted code on the side here, just so we don't have to type it all out. But we have a couple of actions here. We also need to import their relevant components because we don't want to have to style those if we don't have to. So add trips, edit trips, and delete trips. You can read these in the human in the loop. I'll go over one kind of really quickly here. So basically what this is going to take is a handler. That handler, when called, will approve or deny it. If we go into our action buttons, which I'll show you in just a second. Yeah, but you can also conditionally render the approve and reject. Anyway, in here, when we click on this, we're just going to send cancel or we're going to send send. Basically, that's what that means. And pretty simple. Back in our use trips hook, we can see how this kind of transpires there. A couple examples here. The delete trips, we basically just render and wait. And what that does is it renders and then it waits for the user to send a response. In a future version, that'll actually be render and wait for response if you're looking at this later. Cool. So if we talk to it now, you can see it progress. It's going to make some searches. And then we can see the trip actually be constructed. Pretty cool. And so we're going to Ireland again, and it's adding in a bunch of stuff. So we're going to bunch of stuff I can't pronounce in an Irish whiskey museum. Pretty awesome. So now this is where the human in the loop takes place. We can add or remove this. Let's go ahead and add it. And if you wanted to, you could emit a message here saying that the trip was added. We didn't in this case, but maybe some inspiration. But let's go take a look at a trip. Awesome. And so we can see all of our various nodes. We zoom out, we can see the entire country as well. Looking pretty good. So yeah, thanks for this tutorial and taking the time. I hope you learned something. Thanks, everyone.